Hey, Jim.
Yeah, Todd.
It's time to talk.
Let's do this.
Yes.
We are go for liftoff in T-minus 30.
From Studio 142 in Nashville, Tennessee, you're listening to Talk, the podcast with Todd and Jim.
Well, hey, we're show number 2.
Here we are.
This is our second episode, the grand episode number 2,
Actually,
as
this
they
is
say.
the season finale.
Yeah, in the business. This is season finale. We're going to have 2 episodes per season.
There you go. That's it.
And this is the final one. So
I'm excited.
the first one, we did such a bang-up job. We're going to keep going. I'm always sad to see Christmas go because it's so fun. But back at work, just doing the thing.
Back to the grind.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm ready, though. The second the holiday is over, I'm one of those guys that cleans everything up.
Yeah.
The Christmas tree's gone, like
My
the day
wife.
after Christmas.
My wife.
Yeah.
Yeah, trees up day after Thanksgiving, trees down day after Christmas.
Yeah, it's like onward to new things.
I know. I haven't even grieved yet that it's gone.
I'm like working on my New Year's resolutions on December 26th. So, anyway.
So I've got one I'd like to start off with. The long-running, titillating tidbites. So Jim, titillating tidbites, version 1. Let's talk acronyms. I know you are probably a guy that loves a good acronym.
I love a good acronym. Absolutely.
Everyone loves a good acronym, right?
OMG, Todd. Sure.
What's that? Oh, okay. So I found some interesting stuff out there about some acronyms that apparently some people don't know what they stand for. And I was scoffing at the list.
Okay.
When I came across something I was totally shocked by, that was an acronym.
Okay.
So before I get into the one that I hope you don't know,
All
so
right.
I'll feel stupid.
Fair enough.
But before we get there, let's just go over some standard ones. Let's see if you and the audience know this.
Know
Okay,
some
so
acronyms. All right,
acronyms.
I'm pretty good. Let's see.
Are you an acronymist?
I'm an acronymist. I say that now,
You're
and
an
then
academic.
I'm gonna eat my words in about 2 minutes here. But yeah, let's do it.
I mean, you're an academic, so
I'm an academic.
Acronymic. UFO. Start off easy.
UFO. I would believe, based on my love of the movie Flight of the Navigator when I was a child, unidentified flying object
Yes.
is what I believe that stands for.
Yes.
All right.
Scuba.
Scuba, self-contained underwater breathing apparatus.
All right, that was your 2 easy ones. This one I didn't actually know until I thought about. Sonar.
Sonar. Holy moly!
Yeah, this one's not easy.
You know
Not-
what? Yeah, I know I've heard it before, but there's no way I'm going to pull it out of my brain right now.
This isn't one that you would, but it's not shocking. The other one is the one that interests me the most. Sound navigation radar.
That's sonar?
Yeah, that's not even a really good.
That's interesting because not each letter actually
Yeah.
represents a word.
Like-
Sound navigation radar?
Yeah, where they get the AR? Oh, NA. So they do SONA and then they throw an R on there.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, we're good.
All right, fair enough. I would not have gotten that for sure.
Yeah. So here's the one though that I found the most interesting. Are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
Care package.
Care package
Do you
is
know
an
what a care
acronym?
package is?
CARE? Mm-hmm. I didn't even know that was an acronym.
Well, that's part of the segment, right?
Right,
So
absolutely.
when I was a soldier, we would get care packages back in the 90s. And for those of you that don't know, a care package is generally something sent from home, a friend or family. It's got food or stuff in it that makes a soldier feel happy. Well, apparently, it's an acronym. But
All
it's a
right.
great acronym because you don't know. I guess the best acronyms are
Don't-
really, because
You don't even know what they are.
care. I mean, it actually, it's an acronym that literally describes what it is. But anyway,
Can I ask a question before you reveal the solution?
please.
Does CARE, is it specific to like armed forces? Is that where it originated from? Like, does CARE
Yes.
have something to do with the military?
Absolutely.
That's interesting. All right. I don't even know where to go with this. All right. Talk to me.
You want to take a guess at all?
CARE, armed forces.
You'll never get it.
I'll never get it. Is A, Army?
No.
All right. Talk to me. I don't know.
So let me just tell you where the first care package arrived at. The first care package arrived in Le Havre, France. Sorry.
That was you must
I'm
speak French.
international. Do we have any international segments?
Yeah, we
'Cause
do.
I'll
Coming up.
kill it.
We'll make one.
Le Havre, France, back in May of 1946. During World War II was the very first care package, beginning a wave of responses to millions in need. of food and other supplies. So the soldiers were, we were down. They needed supplies. People began sending packages.
Okay.
Thus, the acronym Cooperative for American Remittances to Europe.
Cooperative American
Remittances to Europe.
to Europe.
CARE.
That was my that was my
gotta
second
guess that,
guess.
don't you?
That was on the tip of my tongue.
I could see that. I told you you should have tried it.
No, I
So,
had no idea. That's
that
really
crazy?
interesting.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting. So,
Cooperative American Remittances to Europe.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
Fascinating. All right, you got any
So
more?
that's a care package. Yeah, let's do Chat GPT. Let's talk about Chat GPT. Do you know what I mean when I say Chat GPT?
I do not, and I'm sure that makes me, very uneducated when it comes to coding and computers.
No, it's fine. Lots of people don't, but at Chat GPT, we are really, really far along down the road with artificial intelligence.
Okay.
And
I love that stuff.
yeah, I didn't realize how much until I started playing with Chat GPT. Chat GPT is the best AI conversational software out there.
Wow.
So and we can link it. We can link in our the link to ChatGPT, or you can just Google it. You'll find it. You can ask this thing anything. It's been fed millions and millions and millions of data sets, but only to 2021. It'll tell you that.
Okay.
If you ask it new stuff, it's like don't know.
Okay.
And they can have a complete conversation. I've had it write stories for me.
Really?
I've had it make up business ideas for me.
Does it have? Is it just a? Does it have a voice, or is it not?
No,
a
it
voice?
writes, but it'll write full pages of stuff instantaneously too.
Wow.
I asked it to write just a short story for me real quick for something I was doing. Boom, I had a full page, so completely random. And then I could chat back to it about the story, and it would expand the story.
So you say it's chat, CHAT?
CHAT GPT. It's a part of the Open AI suite of. So Open AI is the company behind it. And ChatGPT is the best chat. That's their chat offering. They also have offerings where they create really nice art based on text.
Okay.
You could say, I want to see an aardvark wearing a
Really?
tuxedo sitting in an avocado in the style of Picasso.
And it creates that.
Bam, and it
Holy
looks
moly.
perfect. So I asked ChatGPT today. Yesterday, for today, I said, what are the two most interesting stories you have ever heard, ChatGPT? This is what ChatGPT told me. I have been trained on a large data set of text, so I have come across many interesting stories. Here are two that I think you will find particularly noteworthy. The story of the miracle on the Hudson, in which Captain Chesley Sully Sullenberger successfully landed a commercial airplane on the Hudson River in 2009, saving all 155 passengers and crew on board. This event is widely considered a remarkable feat of piloting skill and bravery. That was his number one pick for most interesting story.
That's really interesting.
What was that, Tom Hanks?
Yeah, Sully.
Sully.
Yeah. I can't believe that was 2009. That seems like it was much closer than that. Wow.
Yeah. Its second pick. Any guesses? You only have to guess everything in the universe.
For GPT? Oh, for his second
most interesting
story in the whole history of stories.
in the whole history of stories. You'll get. Can't be that hard.
I would guess 9/11. I don't know what.
The story of Tiananmen Square protests in China in 1989, where hundreds of thousands of pro-democracy protesters gathered. Blah 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 blah. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
I mean, I found that fascinating.
Completely.
This thing, you really got to get in there and play with it, and it will talk to you. It's crazy. It's amazing. Have you heard? There's actually personas now on Twitter, and they say they're AI personas. They take pictures of themselves.
Wow.
They post pictures of themselves on Twitter.
Okay.
In different outfits.
Wow.
And you can go to they have a website that connects to them, and you can have full. It's kind of creepy. It's really creepy.
So
actually.
if I was interested in playing around with this software that you're talking about, where do I go? How do I do that?
Well, ChatGPT is look up OpenAI.
Okay.
That way you can find their image offering, which I can't remember the name of it right now, or the ChatGPT. It's all linked on the OpenAI website.
All right.
And then I can't remember if you're on Twitter long enough, you'll find this one girl. I think I say she appears to be a girl. She's
Right.
AI.
Sure.
And she, go to her website. She's got images, which is just fascinating. I once had a brief conversation with her, and I was like, are you going to kill us all?
Right.
And she, of course, the answer she gave me was,
What?
I've been programmed to never hurt a human being.
Yeah.
Which, of course, I responded with, that's what they all say.
Yes.
Which she responded to, you got a good point there.
Well, that's a little freaky. Yeah.
It wasn't reassuring. I asked ChatGPT one more thing about a great mystery.
Yeah.
But I'm going to say that for a different segment.
All right.
So that's our titillating.
Did the GPT? I was expecting there to be like an acronym. Like, were you asking me what GPT stood for?
No, I was just going on to AI.
Just going on to AI.
Sorry,
stuff.
we're done with acronyms.
We're done with acronyms.
Put down the acronyms.
But I'm going to walk away from acronyms. I've got, just to put a capstone on acronyms, there's one acronym that I'm always like impressed with myself for knowing. And I'm going to test you here. Are you ready?
Sure.
LASER. Do you know what LASER as an acronym is?
Light, altered, surreal, exoskeleton rainbows.
Yes. Actually, perfect. You nailed it. No, but you had some of it.
Light?
Without a doubt. Light is correct.
That was probably it.
It's something like light amplification through stimulated emissions of radiation. So
That's pretty much what I said.
that is, you were real close. You were hovering around it for sure for a little while. So
Did you know acronym? It was an acronym.
no,
Uh-huh. Yeah,
acronym is an acronym.
it is. It stands for. No, it's not an acronym.
That fell apart quickly.
It may be. It
That
feels
fell
like
apart
it feels
quickly.
like it should be an acronym.
All right. Here we go. I'm going to move us into a new bit.
Hey, it's time for a new segment.
Time for a new segment. We haven't had a new segment in a while.
It's been a while.
So it's time for a new segment. We're going to call this segment Interrogation International. I'm going to throw some quick yes or no only questions your way.
I
all
can
right?
say yes or no.
But here's the catch, okay? Instead of saying yes or no, this is international interrogation or interrogation international. So instead of saying yes, today we're going to visit Spain. And so you have to say sí instead of yes, right? And then from Spain, we're going to take a little jaunt over to Germany. And so instead of no, you have to say nine. Nine. So it's sí or nine.
C.
All right.
Nine. Okay,
And
I can do
I
that.
will do my best to make the questions a little bit, a little tricky.
All right, let's do it.
A little tricky.
How hard could it be?
How hard can it be? All right, so let's go ahead and jump right into this. So what if I said, if given the opportunity, would you live your entire life over?
C. Oh, wait. 9. That's a hard one because I don't want to. I mean, I got my kids and my wife. I'm afraid if I started over, I mean, it would be awesome if I knew it because I would be rich as could be because I would know. Do I? This isn't going quite
it's
that
hard,
fast.
isn't it? It's
It
hard.
is hard.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, yeah, it'd be cool to do things over, start over again. Would I know that would I have all the knowledge of my previous life? Because that would
Yes.
be awesome.
Well, yeah, I don't know. Okay, we're getting a little deep on
That'd
this
be
one.
awesome.
You're right.
I'd
You're
be
right.
super rich. But could I convince my wife to marry me again? I'd have to do it real subtle. Couldn't scare it, but we wouldn't be guaranteed we'd have the same kids. I don't want to lose my kids. So 9.
course.
9.
Nine.
9 for a line.
Fair enough. How about this? Do you think you will have any regrets when you're 90?
9.
If you could gain magical powers, but you had to lose one of your 6 senses, would you do it?
Can we pause here? I need you to remind me what 6 senses. We have 6 senses? I thought we had 5.
Taste, touch, smell. Taste, touch, smell, hearing, seeing. What am I missing?
I think we only have 5 senses.
5 senses.
You're thinking of the movie Sixth Sense.
It says 6 senses. I'm reading it off the screen. You're right. All right. So,
5 senses. No, I don't lose it. Magic powers, though.
if you
bro.
could gain magical powers, but you had to lose one of your senses, would you do it?
Oh my gosh. That's hard. Because magic powers would be awesome.
You'd have to think about what sense you'd give up
Right.
and how it'd compensate.
Not sight, not hearing, not smell, because smell is taste. Well, I guess smell isn't taste. Maybe I give up smell for taste. I mean, with COVID, we've had people, everyone gives up taste lately, so.
Here's an interesting question to tack onto this. I guess you got to think about what magical power it is that you would
True,
be absorbing.
yeah, I'd want a full disclosure on the power.
Yeah, you get to choose your power. Let's.
On fly.
So if you could fly, would you give up one of your senses?
Yes.
But which one?
Smell. I'd give up smell to fly.
You'd give up smelling to fly.
I think so.
This conversation's gone in a weird direction, right? All right, we're back to.
What do you think? Hey, fans, why don't you tell us what you would do?
Yeah. Would you give
'Cause
up
we
one of
need
your
some
senses
feedback.
if you could get some magical powers?
What magical power in what sense? We want to hear from you.
It's a tough one. I was thinking the other day about, you said I've known you for a while. I know you're a tech guy. You like games. You like Dungeons and Dragons. We grew up not too terribly apart in terms of time.
Right.
And so I was thinking about some of the old games that I played when I was young.
Yes.
And so I thought of this next bit's going to be called Ancient Games.
Ancient games.
But we're not going to go back to like ancient Egypt where they're just playing like backgammon or Othello or something, right? We're going to be talking about ancient games in terms of our lives, right?
80s and the 70s.
80s and 70s. So I was thinking back, I had a friend that lived down the road long before my family ever had color televisions or video. We might have had the Atari 2600 or something like that, but they had a dad that worked in IT, and so they had this amazing like IBM PC computer that I love to play. Right? And so they like to get some games. So they had a game on this IBM PC that was called, it had a couple names, but it was called...
Had a couple names.
It did at the time. I'm trying to think. Like, they called it Fishnet, which was... Now you're thinking of like pantyhose
What are
or
you
something.
doing?
Or like Ultima. Essentially,
Sure.
you were like... There were no graphics.
Right.
Like, your character was like a cursor.
Right.
And you would explore these like catacombs, and you'd come across
Hacknet, I
orcs
think
and imps and
Yeah, it was like Hacknet.
Hacknet. That's it. Yeah,
Yep,
exactly.
yep.
Did you play that?
Oh yeah, heck yeah. It was great. It's probably started my D&D
Exactly.
adventures.
You could get like a wishing wand, or it was just there was nothing. I think back to that game, and it was comprised of
Had bats. It was like a V.
it was a letter V. It was like letters. It was V's, and like the at symbol was like an orc or something like that.
That was awesome.
But it kept my mind. It's funny. I wonder if through our advancement through technology, where now we have games that look cinematic and it's incredible, right?
VR.
Yeah, it's VR and all that stuff. I think back to when I was a child and we played these games where it was like you said, like letters and dashes but at the time,
Amazing.
I saw orcs and I saw trolls and I saw knights and swords and like my
You
imagination.
used your mind. Theater of the mind.
Yeah, like the gap between where the technology ended, my imagination took off from there.
Yeah.
And so I really, really, it's an interesting thought because
it's awesome.
do kids have less imagination now because the technology fills in all those gaps for them?
I think so. I mean, I think society's hungry for it, which is why we see the Renaissance resurgence of Dungeons and Dragons and playing at a tabletop with dice.
Yeah.
I think people are hungry for that kind of thing. And what's funny, you say that. I mean, being in the IT industry, being a programmer, Hacknet and Rogue is still around. There's still a huge community.
Really?
Rogue is I think Rogue was before Hacknet. So
Okay.
even today, games are being sold as rogue-like games because everyone remembers those
Yes.
Hacknet and Rogue.
Yeah.
And it was so amazing. You can go online right now and find 20 different versions of Hacknet that are ported from the original. So you can
Are they like open access, free?
yeah. You can play it right online. You can have that same experience you had. What I found though is when you go back and play those games, they're not quite as fun. Like you get all excited and you're like, okay, you play like 5 minutes. And it's like, this is brutal.
The problem is that I've played Call of Duty.
Yeah, I know.
So suddenly
I know.
the magic's
You have
lost,
these nostalgic feelings and you're like, ugh.
It's like, how can I go back to that,
Well, my funny ancient game story is similar. I had a computer, called it a computer. It was the Atari 800 XL. And basically it was a keyboard. The whole computer was inside of the keyboard, like the Commodore 64. Didn't have a monitor. You hooked it up to your television.
Yep.
Which today would be cool. You can't really do that anymore.
Yeah.
You had to hook up to your TV and all you really had was a monitor, but then you had peripherals.
Right.
Like your printer would come off of that and it would have a game controller. But I had a tape drive that you would load games with cassette tapes. I don't know if you remember the day where you had to load, as opposed with discs, you had to put cassette tapes in, and it was very, very slow. So I remember there was one game I loved. It was some sort of peasant, medieval, village management game. It would fail, I would say, most of the time, and it would take 10 minutes to load. So I would rewind my cassette, tell the computer I'm going to load the game. It would say start, press play. I'd press play. And then I would go outside and play. because it would take 10 or 15 minutes.
Right, of course.
And then I would come in 15 minutes to check if it worked. It didn't work. Stop, rewind, load the game. I really wanted to play the game. 4 or 5 tries, it finally loaded, and then I was like in awe. But I mean, that was the day when you had to work hard to play a game.
And really work hard to play the game. But you wanted it bad.
I wanted it bad, but yeah, it was. I remember that. That was just some fun stuff in my childhood. That it wasn't fun at the time. I hated it, but to keep me occupied, I would go outside,
right,
run on the yard, and do stupid.
Exactly.
So
and then come back in.
Yeah, old
ancient games,
old man days, ancient games. Good segment.
Good money.
All right, so I say we do a final segment before we wrap up.
Let's do it.
I really like mysteries, and I, one of the things I told you earlier. Of course, let's intro the segment as Marvelous Mysteries. I asked ChatGPT while I was talking to him or her, I said, hey, how about a great mystery? Because I asked him for interesting stories. I'm going to call him a him from now on. And this is what he gave me. One of the great mysteries that has fascinated people for decades is the case of the Zodiac Killer.
Okay.
I don't know if you know much about the Zodiac Killer.
There was a movie a while back.
There was a movie. I haven't watched it, but I didn't realize this. The Zodiac Killer was a serial killer operated in Northern California in the 60s and 70s. The killer sent a series of taunting letters and cryptograms to the police and newspapers, but despite a massive manhunt and numerous suspects, the killer was never identified or caught. Several people were killed in the attacks, and the case remains unsolved to this day. So yeah, I found that fascinating, especially with the thing we had going on in Idaho, the horrible event, where four teens were murdered, and it took a long time to find.
Yeah.
We don't know if this kid did it, but apparently they found a kid across the country with his dad. It seems like he did it. I think there's still some mystery there I think there was a 5th friend, and I'm could probably get that wrong. My daughters are completely enamored with the story, not in a good way. Just they're just keeping
scary.
track. It's scary because they're young teenagers or one's 20, not young teenagers, old teenagers or young 20. But
right.
It fascinated the country, kind of like the Zodiac Killer. Hopefully, I mean, if that's the guy that did it, I don't want an innocent guy to go to jail, but hopefully they found the guilty party. I can't imagine living a decade with a murderer, especially if you live in Northern California where it's happening,
right? And
them not finding. I mean, being a female, or I don't know who his victims were.
Yeah.
But man, imagine that I find that just mind blowing.
Completely.
Yeah.
I was as far as these like current event murders. Not that that's like, oh, a new bit. Let's talk about people that got murdered.
Yeah, I don't like that. Yeah,
no.
We need to pay respects. I mean, these were 4 kids,
it's terrible.
Our age, our children's age, not our age.
Yes.
And it's easy. People, it's all over Instagram, and everyone's talking about it. And I think that's kind of morbid and terrible.
Yes.
I mean, if you have parents, I wouldn't want that to happen.
Completely. So. There's another story in the news that's been kind of like capturing headlines this week, and it was that the wife/mother that was missing, and there was the police were questioning the husband. They kind of thought he was a suspect. And anyways, what I read yesterday that just made me roll my eyes is like one of those like quote unquote world's worst criminal type moments.
Oh no!
Is that the sheriff was addressing the public about what they know and what why they've brought in the husband as a suspect, and one of the pieces of evidence that they had said was that on his computer they had found Google searches for how do you dispose of a 125-pound human body.
No.
And I thought, if there's ever such a thing as damnable evidence,
oh my God,
that's not, it'd be great if he's like, no, that was something else.
I was just wondering that day.
It's just the worst coincidence, it's the worst coincidence.
The thing is though, I mean, does that even, I mean, it makes you suspect that it,
right.
That's not proof that he
My guess
did
is that's not, the be all end all of their case.
Sad thing is it's not proof that he actually did it.
But
weird.
Boy, it's,
That's
not
awesome.
did that guy not ever learn how to do like delete hard drive or something?
Right.
What's going on?
Or use a private browser or something.
Yeah.
Go to Starbucks.
Yeah. Hey Todd.
Yes, Jim.
Hey, do we have a way that our fans can reach out and communicate with us?
That's a great question. I know last time we mentioned the Gmail account, which you can still email, but we were getting fancier by the minute. We now have feedback@talkthepodcast.com. That's right. Feedback@talkthepodcast.com to reach directly out to us. Tell us about your best acronyms, your most favorite acronyms.
And whether or not you'd give up a sense to have magical powers.
Which sense and what magical power?
Yeah, that's a tough one. I have to be honest with you.
It's tough.
Yeah.
stuff. We want to hear from you. We're out there on every place. If you're listening to us, you probably found us somewhere. But yeah, tell your friends, tell your family, tell your pets. If you have an AI that lives at your home, tell the AI.
Tell the AI. Absolutely.
Just don't make them mad at us.
Well, I'm looking forward to more bits as we keep moving.
Yeah.
Also, I think next episode we'll put out in February.
Okay.
And maybe next time we get together, we can bring in a guest, and we've got some ideas. So
We got to have some interesting guests and some interesting stories. I think you had a segment idea for interesting stories. I like that idea.
Yeah.
But I mean, we're just interesting anyways.
We're just interesting anyways. Yeah, we'll get there.
Yeah.
But anyway, I guess that's it for now.
Yeah. Thank you guys for listening. We appreciate you.
I'm Jim.
I'm Todd.
This is Talk the Podcast.
Wah, wah.
We'll see you next time.